Tonight on Y News, Supreme Court denies Vice President Leni Robredo's motion to immediately resolve all pending incidents related to the poll protest of former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Malacañang says President Duterte's high trust and approval ratings show public's continued support for the administration. Presidential children, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio and Vice Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte to skip their father's fourth sauna on Monday. Pag-asa says a new low-pressure area is spotted west of Ilocos Sur, likely to develop into Tropical Depression Goreng. And Filipino boxing champion Manny Pacquiao and undefeated American boxer Keith Thurman vow to fight toe-to-toe for their WBA World Welterweight title bout in Las Vegas on Sunday. Good evening. Malacañang is confident the high trust and approval ratings of President Rodrigo Duterte show public support even to the policy of the president in terms of China. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Do you approve the performance of President Rodrigo Duterte? How much do you trust the president? These are some of the questions on the June 2019 Performance and Trust Ratings nationwide survey of Pulse Asia, in which President Duterte got 85% approval and trust ratings. The survey was done after the Recto Bank maritime incident in which a Chinese vessel rammed and sank a Filipino fishing boat with 22 fishermen on board. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the Pulse Asia survey result, which according to him is not surprising, shows that the public supports even the policy of the Duterte administration on the West Philippine Sea issue.
Oh, definitely. Kasi, di ba, every time na that issue is raised, binabanatan siya ng gusto. Pero, yung survey na yan, kinuha yan at the height of the Reed Bank incident. So, factored na yan doon sa mga tinanungan.
The palace also said that criticisms against President Duterte on every controversial issue do not affect the support of majority of Filipinos to the administration.
Ang positibong resulta ng mga hakbang na sinasagawa niya mula pa nung naging Pangulo siya ng ating bansa. At siya ay nararamdaman ng taong bayan. Kaya hindi natitinag ang kanyang popularidad.
Pulse Asia Research Director Ronald Holmes, however, clarifies the issue on the West Philippine Sea was not among the survey questions. He says the survey result is a reflection of the general sentiment of Filipinos on the performance of the president.
Maaari mong sabihin na sa pangkalahat kumakatawan yan sa mga Pilipino. Hindi natin may ugnay sa isang gawain lang yan. Kasi ang panukat ng mga tao, maaaring iba eh. Maaaring alam nila yung nangyari sa Recto incident, maaaring hindi nila alam. Maaaring nakapokus lang sila sa gawain tungkol sa kalagayan ng ekonomiya. So since hindi natin masabi, matukoy kung yung pinagbabatayan nila, kaya general lang yung question.
Based on the same survey, Vice President Leni Robredo and Senate President Tito Soto also got high scores. Pulse Asia interviewed 1,200 respondents nationwide from June 24 to 30, 2019. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacañang.
Social media has been an avenue not just for getting information for some, it's also an avenue for tirades and criticisms. And Twitter is one of the platforms used even by politicians to air their sentiments. Find out some of the political officials who has taken to Twitter recently with controversial statements, as Harleen Delgado reports.
Public officials usually make the headlines every time they find themselves locking horns with other officials in sessions or public debates. But now in the modern world, Twitter has become the new battlefield of opinions. One of the recent tirades that have gone viral over the past months was between Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Teddy Boy Locsin Jr. and former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. This was after Locsin in a tweet praised President Rodrigo Duterte's remark for slamming Trillanes in a speech, calling the senator stupid and idiot for criticizing the deaths under the administration's war on drugs. This prompted Trillanes to reply in a sarcastic manner, adding that what the president said is an admission that he is behind the supposed extrajudicial killings, or EJKs, in the country. In April, Locsin also had a disagreement with Commission on Elections Gregorio Larrazabal after the Comelec Commissioner called out the Cabinet Secretary for cussing in a now-deleted tweet. Larrazabal has warned Locsin that if he continues to curse in his future tweets, her daughter might read it. Locsin answered that for him, something is lost when he tries not to cuss, but also agreed that it is indeed sometimes unnecessary. However, Larrazabal believes that the Cabinet Secretary can still be innovational in his words. Locsin, showing that he is trying not to curse, replied that the real threat to the environment are those who do not agree with him, which he called idiots. Larrazabal ended his reply by saying that no one is correct all the time. And just last month, Locsin was put in hot water after calling Vice President Leni Robredo stupid in a tweet after she condemned the Department of Foreign Affairs' decision to cancel all courtesy diplomatic passports. Senator Kiko Pangilinan was fast to criticize Locsin, saying that what the Cabinet Secretary did is unprofessional and that he should face sanctions. Locsin later on apologized. But what politicians tweet are not always tirades against their colleagues. Some express support to their co-officials on the platform. Just like this one tweet of Senator Panfilo Lacson, in which he stressed that he is not posturing for the 2022 elections for being active on Twitter. His colleague Senator J.V. Ejercito boosted a senator, saying that he is not like other traditional politicians who are used to sugarcoating. Senate President Vicente Tito Soto III also showed some support by calling him partner. Truly, social media is a whole different world, an avenue where one can freely express himself. But we must always remember that this freedom comes with responsibility, not only to ourselves, but to others. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
The Presidential Electoral Tribunal, or PET, junks the motion of Vice President Leni Robredo calling for immediate resolution on the electoral protest of former Senator Bongbong Marcos for being premature. In their decision, PET says the recount and revision of votes are not yet completed under their Rule 65. The tribunal also called the numbers submitted by Robredo's camp speculative, as it seems to present that all her claims will be admitted by the tribunal. The country's second highest official claims that her votes went up by 15,000 after the conduct of revision of votes. But the courts say they are still in the process of appreciation of revised ballots and currently adjudicates on claims by both camps. Robredo's camp expresses dismay over the ruling, saying their camp has pushed for the conclusion of the case to stop Marcos's camp from spreading false information and propaganda to mislead the public. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio and Vice Mayor Baste Duterte will skip their father's State of the Nation address on July 22. Grace Casin will tell us why.
Citing her medical condition, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio will not be attending his father's State of the Nation address on Monday. Based on the message she sent to the media, she is now on her special medical leave due to her gynae condition. This is the second time the presidential daughter skips President Rodrigo Duterte's SONA. The first was in 2016, was also due to her medical condition. The palace expresses concern over Mayor Sara's condition.
We can only pray for her safety and or recovery from whatever illness that she is presently suffering. Whatever, kung meron man sakit, we will have to pray for her.
Davao City Vice Mayor Baste Duterte will also keep the occasion, saying he has an important session to attend in their city.
Ko dili ko maka-attend og SONA kay naa magud ay session sa Tuesday ana. So kapoy na pod na balik ko diri sayo sa buntag. So dili na lang ko. Tan-aw na lang ko sa TV.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The new low pressure area spotted west of Ilocos Sur may develop into a tropical cyclone as Tropical Storm Falcon left the Philippine area of responsibility. As of 3 p.m. today, the low pressure area, or LPA, was estimated based on all available data at 310 kilometers west-northwest of Sinait, Ilocos Sur. The weather disturbance may also develop into a tropical depression and will be named Goreng once it enters the Philippine area of responsibility. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol details his version of what really transpired during the so-called 2018 rice crisis. The official insists that there was no rice shortage in the country. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
Rice prices in Zamboanga City rose from 70 pesos to 80 pesos per kilogram in August 2018. The city was one of the most affected by the rice crisis issue that peaked in 2018. State of calamity was even declared in the city then. Some National Food Authority or NFA outlets in Metro Manila also ran out of supply, while the prices of commercial rice also spiked up. But according to Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol, there was no rice shortage in the country last year. He explains that the crisis was a result of the traders' manipulation of the rice industry after the NFA and the NFA Council had a problem in process of importing rice. Piñol notes that as early as October 2017, the NFA already asked the Council's permission to import rice due to the depleting buffer stock, but the Council did not allow it.
So na-delay yung importation until such time na naubusan ng bigas yung NFA, na during the lean months, wala nang pang-alala yung NFA ng mababang presyo. May bigas, pero minanipulate ng mga traders yung presyo kasi alam nilang walang tatakbuhan yung mga tao.
Official said he should not be blamed for what happened because the NFA was not under the supervision of the Department of Agriculture or DA at that time. The NFA and 3 other DA sub-agencies were transferred in 2014 during the Aquino administration to the Office of Presidential Assistant for Food Security and Agricultural Modernization, in which then former Senator Francis Pangilinan was appointed as the presidential assistant. The same 4 agencies were adopted by the Office of the Cabinet Secretary when the Duterte administration took power in 2016. During the crisis, the DA and the NFA inspected warehouses in Bulacan, where thousands of sacks of rice were found when they should have been delivered to the markets. A group of farmers directly sold their produce to Metro Manila markets in February 2018 for only 38 pesos per kilogram. President Duterte approved the importation of rice in April of the same year, and the first shipment was delivered in June. In September 2018, the NFA, the Philippine Coconut Authority, and the Philippine Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority were brought back under the administration of the DA. The NFA immediately implemented the suggested retail price for commercial rice to put a cap and prevent overpricing. Piñol stresses that the production of rice in 2018 was 19.06 million metric tons or 93% of the country's total requirement. But before the year of the so-called crisis, local farmers were able to produce 19.28 million metric tons or 385.6 billion sacks of rice in 2017, which was the highest ever recorded.
But there was no shortage. Because if you define what shortage is, may pera ka pambili, wala ka mabiling bigas. That's shortage. At that time, may bigas mahal. Kasi minaniobra na nga ng mga traders.
Piñol cites that some members of the economic team used the issue of rice crisis to push the liberalization of rice importation. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Filipino boxing champion Manny Pacquiao faces off with American boxer Keith Thurman in Nevada, USA on Saturday local time. Both camps say they are all geared up for the bout. Ferdy Patalio will tell us why.
The WBA World Welterweight title fight is on between Manny Pacquiao and Keith one-time Thurman on Saturday local time at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. The two fighters met at a news conference in Vegas on Wednesday to promote the fight. American boxer Keith Thurman, who debuted in 2007, said he plans to beat up 8th Division World Champion Manny Pacquiao.
I'm not here to hug Manny Pacquiao. I'm not here to pat him on the back. You know, I'm here to fight him. And so for me, it just puts me in the fight mode when I let him know he ain't gonna do nothing. With them little T-Rex arms, he's about to get, beat up.
But 40-year-old Pacquiao smiled and did not seem paced by the T-Rex arms comment.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say, but I don't know if it's easy to do it in the ring. You know me, I've been this sport more than 2 decades, so my experience will prove it.
Thurman said his camp is going for the overall victory in just a few rounds.
We're going for first round knockout, second round knockout, and then lucky number 7 round knockout. At the end of the day, it's a sport.
On the other hand, Pacman said he expects a good toe-to-toe against One Time.
I think, I believe we are really 100% conditioned, physically, mentally, and most of all spiritually. And I'm sure my opponent work hard, train hard for Saturday. So I expecting a good fight. Like you said, toe-to-toe on Saturday would be good.
Pacquiao, who debuted in 1995, has a record of 61 victories with 39 knockouts, 7 defeats, and 2 draws in a career spanning 24 years. Thurman, who holds the World Boxing Association Super World Welterweight title, remains undefeated with a record of 29 knockouts, 22 of which are KOs. Malacañang, for their part, expressed support for the fighting senator.
Oh, we wish him the best of luck in the world. I've seen some of the fights of Thurman. Mukhang magaling din eh. Bata pa, magaling. Pero yung ating boxer magaling din eh.
Meanwhile, Mayweather Promotion CEO Leonard Ellerby has said that the retired boxing champion Floyd Mayweather will be at the ringside for the Pacquiao-Thurman face-off. Ferdy Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue.
Good evening. The Department of Transportation has ordered the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board to allow hatchbacks to be permanently classified under Transport Network Vehicle Service. Meanwhile, the LTFRB also announced they will open their offices on Saturday to fast-track the accommodation of TNVS franchise applications. Joan Nano tells us why.
Upon hearing explanations from relevant transport officials and stakeholders concerning hatchbacks operating as Transport Network Vehicle Service or TNVS, Department of Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade has ordered the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB to allow hatchback vehicles to operate as public transport on certain conditions. In a statement, Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade says that Memorandum 2018-05 should be implemented and/or should be amended. On the other hand, Transportation Undersecretary Mark De Leon says that the LTFRB will need to amend the memorandum in order to legally allow the operation of hatchbacks as TNVS. The official also emphasizes that hatchback drivers previously delisted should be prioritized. Meanwhile, LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgrat today announced they will open their offices on Saturday twice a month to fast-track the accommodation of TNVS franchise applications. This move aims to address various complaints from TNVS drivers and operators over slow and tedious processing of requirements just to get their provisional authority and certificate of public convenience. Earlier today, several TNVS drivers and operators fell in line outside the LTFRB central office in East Avenue, Quezon City as early as 4 a.m. and endured a heavy rainfall just to get their numbers since the agency is only accommodating 1,000 applicants a day.
Kahapon pumunta ako, hindi ko alam na may number. So bumalik ako kanina madaling araw. So hindi lang din yon, hindi lang ako. Kagabi, alas 9, may pumila na dito. Ganon kahirap ang inaabot namin. Problema nga lang, hindi organized. So bumuhos lahat dito, kung ilang 10 BS kami, buhos kami, agawang kami dyan sa labas. Nabuhosan kami ng ulan.
Sobrang hirap. Mula alas 4 hanggang 8 nakapila lang kami, umuulan. 4 na beses na nato yung damit namin. Ang hirap, ma'am. Sobrang hirap.
Chairman Dalgrab vows to address the problem and to organize the processing of applications.
We will list them para lang masiguro nila kung kailan sila babalik so that hindi na sila pupunta dito ng mas maaga pa.
Despite various complaints, the LTFRB stands firm they will not issue a moratorium on the apprehension of colorum TNVS, which has a penalty of 120,000 pesos. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
A group of rallyists prepare an effigy to be burned on Monday when President Rodrigo Duterte delivers his fourth State of the Nation address. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Immigration warns that foreigners who will join the SONA rallies may face deportation. Grace Casin tells us why.
A 13-feet giant effigy, a protest march. These are what anti-Duterte administration protesters are preparing for alongside the President Rodrigo Duterte's Fourth State of the Nation Address or SONA. According to Marian Ramirez, one of the artists who designed the effigy called Dagat ng Protesta or a Sea of Protest, it symbolizes how President Duterte favors the Chinese government. As a highlight of their program, the group of protesters will burn the effigy.
Nire-represent siya bilang isang shokoy na supposedly tagapangalaga ng dagat. Pero the more na gumagawa siya ng karahasan, the more na pumapangit siya, lumalabas yung totoo niyang ugali.
More than 40,000 individuals are expected to join the rally called the People's United SONA in Commonwealth Avenue on July 22. One of the issues they will bring up is the President's promise on contractualization and wage increase for government and private employees.
3 taon na, ito ay promises pa rin kung masasabi natin sa Ingles. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin natutugon si Ginoong Duterte mangpapang-apat na po niya na State of the Nation Address.
The group rally will start at 11 o'clock in the morning and will last until Monday night. They have promised to follow the security measures implemented by the authorities for everyone's safety. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Immigration reminded foreigners to refrain from joining any political activities as they are not allowed under Philippine law. The Bureau of Immigration warned legal aliens that they will face deportation if they take part in political protests. BI Commissioner Jaime Morente explains that foreigners who are visitors in the Philippines are not given any political rights and privileges of a Filipino citizen. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno does not favor the explanation of former Mayor Joseph Estrada on allowing illegal vendors to sell near the city's landmarks. Meanwhile, his administration also maintained they will not repeat what the Estrada admin did on the cleanup drive in Manila Bay. April Senadoza will tell us why.
Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno does not subscribe to the explanation given by former City Mayor Joseph Estrada as to why he had allowed illegal vendors in the city during his term.
That is not true. Read my lips. Why? My answer to that is very simple. The answer is in a form of question. What is and what are compelling reason from the immediate past administration not to do their job? And these are basic functions. Making roads available to the general public.
Estrada has earlier defended his statement, saying he felt pity for the poor families. As Moreno's admin began declaring operations in the city, just days after he swore an oath as the new Manila City Mayor, he says the removal of illegal vendors is not violent.
First doon sa ginawa natin, we clear up Carriedo, we clear up Paraon, we clear up Blooming Tree. Have you ever seen an incident na nagkabalya? Wala. Why? Because we speak their language.
Former Manila City Mayor Alfredo Lim meanwhile refused to compare the leaderships of Estrada and Moreno because saying the two have their own strategies.
No, hindi. Kani-kanyang style yan eh. Kung ano nagawa niya. Kung ano nagawa ng ibang mayors, nagawa nila.
Mayor Isko also emphasizes the Manila City government under his administration will not repeat the controversial Manila Bay cleanup drive that happened during Estrada's term.
I, for one, will not do the same just for purposes of picture taking, tatapon ko muna yung basura sa dagat.
April Senedoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
A software which can automatically track a traffic law violator is featured in the 2019 National Science and Technology Week. Mai Bermudez will tell us why.
Traffic violators can now be automatically identified through catch-all or contactless apprehension of traffic violators, which can detect or track vehicles using surveillance cameras or CCTVs. This can be done through software which can monitor roads round the clock, developed by a group of researchers from the De La Salle University.
It uses artificial intelligence and computer vision to automate nung pag-capture natin ng mga violators ng mga traffic laws. So just by reviewing the surveillance footage, pinaprocess niya ito and nag-generate na niya kung sino ng mga kotse in terms of their license plates ang nag-violate ng traffic laws.
Traffic law enforcers are not needed anymore because using this software, drivers who violate the number coding scheme can be tracked automatically.
To make it work, we need ng surveillance cameras along EDSA to capture ng traffic, and we also have a server to process the information. So we have a running program to process the apprehension.
Even ticket issuance will be done via electronic mail. It can also monitor the car's license plate, the time, date, and place where the violation happened.
After po natin ma-verify yung mga violators mo, pwede na po ma-generate yung daily report. Sa daily report po, pwede na rin pong ma-send yung ticket.
The Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, appeals to Congress to show more support to fund these kinds of technologies in the country.
I hope that our new set of lawmakers, the legislative, both in the lower house and in the Senate, will be, shall we say, supportive na naman sila, pero more supportive pa of science and technology. Ang sabi ko nga, don't look at it as an expense item, but more of an investment.
LaSallian researchers have been developing this software for a year now, and as they continue their work, they plan to add features such as illegal loading and unloading, overspeeding, beating the red light violator trackers, and a feature which can count the number of vehicles plying major thoroughfares. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
To complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. The Health Department says that police and military hospitals are also on standby for the accommodation of dengue patients. This amid the national dengue alert raised in the country. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Yesterday, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III met with the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, or NDRRMC Health Cluster, to plan and ask for support from their member agencies to address the ongoing challenge of the rising number of dengue cases. According to DOH Undersecretary Eric Domingo, even police and military hospitals are on standby to accommodate dengue patients after the declaration of the National Dengue Alert.
Ang PNP kasi tsaka yung AFP may mga hospitals din naman sila. And we have to network with them in case na talagang dumami ang pasyente. Halimbawa, or may mga lugar na malayo sa amin pero sila may ospital, maaari kaming makipagtulungan para ma-admit din ang mga pasyente sa mga hospitals nila.
The DOH is in partnership with the Departments of Education, Social Welfare and Development, and the Interior and Local Government when it comes to dengue prevention measures in schools.
Pagbubukas ng extra na mga room sa ospital or sa tulong ng Red Cross, halimbawa pagtayo ng mga extra hospital tents, just in case we need them. Kailangan talaga sa schools maglinis tayo, ma-educate natin yung children at saka yung parents kung paano yung mga dapat natin gawin to prevent itong dengue. At saka siguro meron tayong mga changes na rin sa mga patakaran sa school.
The DOH advises the public to take measures at home to prevent dengue. Empty water containers or clear stagnant water where dengue-carrying mosquitoes can breed. Put screens on windows. Guard children and make them stay away from places where mosquitoes breed.
Maganda pa rin talaga nakapantalon at saka long sleeves ang bata, para hindi siya makakagat ng lamok.
If symptoms of dengue persist, immediately seek a doctor's attention. The DOH are open for questions on dengue through their hotline numbers 711-1001 and 711-1002. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or PNP-CIDG, today filed a complaint before the Department of Justice against Vice President Leni Robredo, opposition senators, lawyers, clergy, and several others over the proliferation of the Ang Totoong narco list videos. Robredo, along with Senators Laila de Lima and Risa Ontiveros, former Senators Antonio Trillanes IV and Bam Aquino, were accused of sedition, inciting to sedition, libel, cyber libel, estafa, harboring a criminal, and obstruction of justice. Also named respondents were former IBP President Attorney Abdiel Dan Fajardo, former Supreme Court spokesperson Attorney Theodore Te, Ocho Derecho senatorial candidates Gary Alejano, Florin Hilbay, Romulo Macalintal, Chel Diokno, Samira Gutok, and Erin Tañada, and clergy members Robert Reyes, Albert Alejo, Armin Luistro, and Catholic bishops Ernesto Ontico, Teodoro Bacani, Pablo Virgilio David, and Socrates Villegas. In support of its complaint, the PNP-CIDG submitted the sworn statement of Peter Jomel Advincula, alias Bicoy, which detailed his supposed meetings with these respondents and how they planned the so-called Project Sodoma, which allegedly sought to publicly discredit President Rodrigo Duterte and destabilize his government by implicating him and his family members in illegal drugs. The 6-part video series, Ang Totoong Narco List, which implicated the president's family and close allies in supposed drug dealings, allegedly formed part of Project Sodoma. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says the DOJ will form a panel of prosecutors that will hear and conduct a preliminary investigation on the complaints.
Ito na siguro yung totoong hinihintay na pagkataon, ito na yung laban. Dito na magkakaalaman kung sino yung nagsasabi ng totoo, kung sino yung nagsisinungaling, kung sino yung manggagamit, at kung sino yung tunay na gumagamit lang ng mga tao para maghari yung kagustuhan nila.
The Office of Vice President, for their part, says they have yet to receive a copy of the said complaint. And for the news abroad, here's Kath Dumaraos reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, William. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to table a Texas Democrat impeachment resolution, with a majority of Democrats voting with Republicans to kill the impeachment push, which was based on President Donald Trump's attacks against 4 Democratic congresswomen. This report explains why. The U.S. House of Representatives voted Wednesday to table an impeachment resolution against President Donald Trump, effectively killing the measure for now, but not burying the issue that has divided Democrats. The resolution sponsor, Democratic Representative Al Green, was seeking to capitalize on growing criticism of Trump after the president's recent attacks on minority congresswomen. The House voted 332 to 95 to set aside the measure. Green had failed twice before to get an impeachment resolution passed, but Wednesday marked the first time the full House had addressed the matter since Democrats took the majority earlier this year. Trump cheered the vote at his North Carolina rally.
I just heard that the United States House of Representatives has overwhelmingly voted to kill the most ridiculous project I've ever been involved in. The resolution, how stupid is that, on impeachment.
Meanwhile, despite criticism from Democrats that his comments about the 4 minority congresswomen are racist, U.S. President Donald Trump went on a 20-minute diatribe about them, saying they were welcome to leave the country if they do not like his policies on issues such as immigration and defending Israel.
Trump tweeted on the weekend that the 4 progressive representatives known as the Squad, Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, and Ayanna Pressley of Ohio, should go back where they came from, even though all are U.S. citizens and 3 are U.S. born. As Trump recounted past comments made by Omar, who was born in Somalia and emigrated to the United States as a child, the crowd began chanting, "Send her back."
They're always telling us how to run it, how to do this, how to do... You know what? If they don't love it, tell them to leave it. I don't know. And now watch, I'll go back tonight. Oh, sir, that was so controversial. Sir. No, I'm just saying it's their choice. They can come back when they want. But, you know, they don't love our country. I think in some cases they hate our country.
Trump spent about 20% of his freewheeling 90-minute-long speech criticizing the 4 lawmakers, eliciting choruses of boo from the crowd, which he praised for its enthusiasm. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
The World Health Organization has declared the Ebola crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo a public health emergency of international concern. Jovic Burmas tells us why.
The World Health Organization on Wednesday declared the Ebola outbreak in Democratic Republic of Congo to be a public health emergency of international concern, saying the recent risk of its spread in the city of Goma and into Uganda had increased the threat.
The Ebola emergency meeting has today advised the Director General to declare a public health emergency of international concern, a FIC. What does that mean? This is still a regional emergency and by no way a global threat.
The outbreak in DR Congo has killed more than 1,600 people. This week, the first case was detected in Goma, home to more than 1 million. The committee said there were worrying signs of possible extension of the epidemic and that the recent case in Goma was a cause for concern. The WHO has warned that the nearby countries of Rwanda, South Sudan, Burundi, and Uganda are the most at risk, while Central African Republic, Angola, Tanzania, Republic of Congo, and Zambia are in a second tier. But the WHO stopped short of saying borders should be closed, saying the risk of the disease spreading outside the region was not high.
That WHO does not recommend any restrictions on travel or trade, which rather than stopping Ebola can actually hamper the fight. Closing borders could have disastrous consequences for the lives and livelihoods of the people who cross the border every day for trade, education, or to visit relatives. Such restrictions force people to use informal and unmonitored border crossings, increasing the potential for the spread of disease.
The PHEIC emergency provision is the highest level of alarm the WHO can sound and has only been used 4 times previously. This includes the Ebola epidemic that devastated parts of West Africa from 2014 to 2016 and killed more than 11,000 people. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Kath de Maraos, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. A data privacy expert warns of the use of a mobile application that is becoming popular, Face app. Here's Mon Hokson to tell us why.
Mobile application Face app is the talk of the town nowadays. Using the app is amusing as it can make a user look younger or even 30 years older using artificial intelligence or AI. Face app was initially released in 2017, and in that year, it was the #1 free iPhone app in 95 countries. But it has been becoming popular again this year. In fact, after using the app, the famous boy band Jonas Brothers look like their ancestors. While NBA stars LeBron James and Stephen Curry appear to be retired from their basketball career. In the Philippines, even actors and actresses have tried using the app. actor Derek Ramsey still looks handsome in this picture. Quezon City Vice Mayor Gian Soto instantly became a granddaddy using the app. But according to Rosel Ray, a data privacy expert, there are risks in using the mobile application, especially because the app is asking permission to gain access to a user's private information.
If you say yes, yun medyo delikado yun. Kasi hindi natin alam kung kanino niya gagamitin ito, saan niya sa store to. And possibly, baka nga maging cause or maging dahilan nung pagkakaroon ng identity theft. Hindi natin alam, ginagamit na pala yung mukha natin sa advertisement or some malicious intent na ginagawa nila.
Ms. Rosel advises those who still want to use and share pictures using the app.
Kung gusto mo siyang i-share, yung product or yung result ng iyong application, capture screen mo lang. Pwede mo na siyang i-screenshot and then yung mismong yun ang pwede mong i-share.
In the US, New York Senator Chuck Schumer has asked the Federal Bureau of Investigation or FBI and the US Federal Trade Commission or FTC for an investigation into potential national security and privacy risk for millions of US citizens posed by the app that is headquartered in St. Petersburg, Russia. Even with Facebook, privacy has been an issue, and this became an argument in countries where privacy is a sensitive matter. This week, the FTC approved a settlement of $5 billion with Facebook over their probe on privacy violation. FTC has accused Facebook of giving the data of 87 million Facebook users to British consulting firm Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica is the company that ran the campaign for US President Donald Trump in the 2016 US presidential elections. It is said that Cambridge Analytica got data from Facebook, which they used in Trump's campaign then. Last July 13, Facebook held a developers conference in the US, and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that they will launch services focused on privacy.
As the world gets bigger and more connected, we need that sense of intimacy more than ever. So that's why I believe that the future is private. This is the next chapter for our services.
The fine, if finalized, might be the largest one the FTC has ever levied on a tech company. But it's affordable for Facebook, which brought in almost $56 billion in revenue in 2018. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
Instagram is hiding the number of likes on posts in several countries, including Australia and Japan, in order to remove pressure on users. The trial, which begins Thursday, means users will see a username and others below posts instead of the number on their feed. Instagrammers can still view the number of likes on their respective posts that they receive. There is concern on social media platforms that can contribute to low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy in young people. Instagram launched a similar trial in Canada in May, and the new test is rolling out in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Italy, Japan, and Brazil. As Southeast Asia grapples with massive tides of rubbish hitting its beaches, a Cambodian coffee shop owner is looking to build a business out of some of this waste as a way to promote sustainability. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
Cambodian Uk Von Day is on a mission to put the piles of discarded rubbish around his neighborhood to good use. He has built a cafe using stacks of beer bottles to make up a wall, and dead leaves to spell out the coffee shop's name, Rubbish Cafe. Von Day, 32, hopes by featuring rubbish collected from various places in an eye-catching way, people will become more aware of the amount of waste they generate and take steps to reduce it. For a cup of coffee, customers can pay either $1.50 or 100 plastic cups, which will go towards building his cafe and some other projects. Von Day also encourages people to bring their own cups to get a 30% discount.
This sends a message to other shop owners to think beyond just making a profit and to look at the big impact trash has on their communities and the world, how it affects nature and how it worsens nature, how it affects the younger generation.
It's not Vanday's first foray into upcycling or turning rubbish into something useful. In 2013, he built his first coconut school on the outskirts of Phnom Penh to teach young children English and to spread awareness about good waste management. Students pay in recyclable rubbish. Still in the early stages, Vanday's cafe has not received any customers who have collected their required amount of rubbish to exchange for a cup of coffee, but Vanday is optimistic.
Opening a coffee shop like this is very good for our environment and it helps our economy too.
Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this July 18, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Ito na siguro yung totoong hinihintay na pagkakataon. Ito na yung laban. Dito na magkakaalaman kung sino yung nagsasabi ng totoo, kung sino yung nagsisinungaling, kung sino yung manggagamit at kung sino yung tunay na gumagamit lang ng mga tao para maghari yung kagustuhan nila.
Sobrang hirap. Mula alas 4 hanggang 8 nakapila lang kami, umuulan. 4 na beses na nato yung damit namin. Ang hirap, ma'am. Sobrang hirap.
We will list them para lang masiguro nila kung kailan sila babalik.
If you say yes, yun medyo delikado yun. Kasi hindi natin alam kanino niya gagamitin ito, saan niya sa store to. And possibly, baka nga maging cause or maging dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng identity theft.
I believe we are really 100% conditioned physically, mentally, and most of all spiritually. And I'm sure my opponent work hard, train hard for Saturday. So I expecting a good fight. Like I said, toe-to-toe on Saturday would be good.